What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Tuesday. Got a nice 5-game slate here tonight, and I got it broken down for you with 6 of my favorite plays on the slate. My money's 6. So before we get going, go ahead and slap that like button if you're ready to win some money here tonight. Let's try to get over 100 likes on this one if you can hit that. Thank you a lot. Yesterday's play is a little bit up and down. We had Paul George in the original money 6. Of course, 15 minutes before lock, I got news that Andrew Wiggins is going to be out. So I was like, all right, Karl Anthony Towns is absolutely going to smash here. So I kind of have to pivot between Blake Griffin or Paul George. And, of course, I chose Paul George, who went over 80 DraftKings points, absolutely killed it. I did say I still liked him, but I thought Karl Anthony Towns was a better bet for over 60 DraftKings points, and, of course, he got in foul trouble. He still got 42 DraftKings points in 27 minutes, so he had like 10 less minutes than he normally gets. He probably would have got over 50, maybe even 60 DraftKings points, so Paul George just did so well that it really sucked there. But I did tweet out about Larry Nance Jr., who played really well because Zizic was out. K-Love still in the meta restriction, so he made a lot of sense there in that game. So up and down, CJ McCollum also did very bad. He shot like 5 for 20 or something like that. The matchup was there. He just couldn't hit any shots. But let's get into the plays here for today. First guy up, I'm going to go with LeBron James. This game is just a prime matchup for fantasy points. Going against the Atlanta Hawks, the projected pace is super high in this one. High over-under of 237. And LeBron, he's had some solid games coming back from injury. I mean, he had 72 against the Celtics, 57 against the Clippers, and he's been very close to triple-doubles in like every single one of these games, and he had the triple-double against the Celtics. So a really good matchup here going against the Hawks. They really don't have anyone to slow him down. And like I said, with that fast pace, he can definitely fill it up with the rebounds and assists and score a little bit better here in this matchup. So at 10,500, it is a very good price for a guy of his ability with this huge upside. He only played 33 minutes last game, so maybe that has him feeling a little bit more fresh here in this game. Had a nice day off, and just a prime matchup here, like I said. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there. Not much to it. For my second guy, I'm going to go with John Collins. Like I said, I like this game a lot. Definitely a good game to stack up with players. So John Collins at 7,600. Maybe people are scared away from him a little bit because he hasn't been playing up to his upside recently. It's partially been due to him, I think, getting in foul trouble. I think he got hurt in this game against the Wizards, so he only had 17 minutes. He was absolutely killing in that game before he got hurt, though. But against Phoenix, he had 61, so he still has that upside. It hasn't been as frequent, but going against the Lakers here, their down-low defense isn't great. We saw Embiid absolutely kill them the other night. I think John Collins could get extra run here in this game with how the Lakers kind of play. They could go small ball here a little bit, and John Collins might have to kind of go to the 5 as the Hawks kind of have 2 backup centers, and John Collins is really the only one I think that's able to go small if they wanted to do that. So at 7,600 here, really good upside. Think he can go over 40 DraftKings points and have a really good game in this high-pace, high-scoring affair. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. Then I'm going to go with Trey Young at 6,700. He's been playing really well recently. The last game was a blowout, but it really wasn't his fault. It's just the Magic kept on scoring with like guys like Fournier. Vucevic got this, couldn't miss any shots they were taking, so the game resulted in a blowout. So Trey Young got a few less minutes, but he still had 29 DraftKings points in 26 minutes. And in this matchup, going against the Lakers, he had a very good game against them the first time out. He got a little bit extra minutes, 35 minutes. He got 46 DraftKings points in that game, so a really good total there. And going against them again here, I think he could get a few extra minutes because Jeremy Lin was actually just bought out by the Raptors. They got him, so they don't really have that same kind of threat of backup point guard play that could take more minutes. Maybe they kind of did it to get Trey Young more consistent run. I could see him easily getting 30 to 35 minutes in this game, especially if it stays close. I think it will, honestly. So at 6,700 here, I think Trey Young can get around 40 DraftKings points and return some good value. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my third guy. Then I'm going to go with Jonathan Isaac. This play definitely has some risk to it because he's not super involved in the offense in some of these games, but recently his stroke has been there. He's got 12 shots, 3 out of the last 4 games. And he's the DraftKings points ever followed 36, 29, 29, 26, 39. He's the guy that's very active on the defensive end. Like, he had 5 blocks last game and 2 steals, 3 blocks, 2 steals against Minnesota. So he definitely can fill it up in multiple categories, and if he can get some good rebounds, I think he could flirt with around 30 plus DraftKings points again in this game. It is a good spot for the Magic because it's a pace uptick for the Magic. They're projected a few extra points than they normally have, and he has one of the best matchups on the court. The Pelicans really struggle against small forwards. They got like Darius Miller starting at the small forward, and Isaac has a lot more size in him. He can definitely drive to the hoop and get some pretty easy buckets in this matchup. So a really good spot, 5,100. If he can get the shots to drop, then he should be a good value play again here tonight. But definitely a little bit of a risk, maybe more GPP because he is a little bit reliant sometimes on the defensive stats. Like, if there ever was going to be like regression with those, then he could have a little bit of a subpar night. But I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there anyways. I think he'll get it done. For my 5th guy, I'm going to go with Marcus Morris here at 5,000. He always gets up for these games against the 76ers. And Kyrie Irving is going to be out of this game, so that means they're going to need some offensive production from the other pieces in the starting lineup, and Morris is one of those guys that I think can step up here and hit a few extra shots, get a few extra looks. He's been pretty good recently. He was coming off the injury against the Lakers, so he wasn't himself in that game, but he doesn't seem like he's on the injury report anymore. 28, 28, 31, 28. He's been pretty consistent. Like, definitely a safe cash game play, I would say. Maybe not crazy upside because he never has like one of those explosion games as his other pieces on the Celtics that always kind of hold their own, and Tatum, Rozier, Jaylen Brown. So like, he doesn't have that take over the game kind of upset, I would say, but I still think he can get around 30 DraftKings points, and at a price tag of 5,000, that's around 6 times value, so definitely worth your while. And in the 2 games against him, he came off the bench in the opening day because Hayward got the start, but he had a very good game there. Then the second game out on Christmas, he played very well. He's averaging 36 DraftKings points in the 2 matchups against them in just 28 minutes on average, so he's doing really well against them. I think he can do that again here tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my 5th guy. And for my final guy, my value play, JaVale McGee at 4,800 makes a lot of sense. The Lakers center play is really up in the air with some injuries. Tyson Chandler is questionable here, and also Mike Muscala, who they just traded for. He did pick up an injury in their last game, and he's questionable. Both those guys, Muscala and Tyson Chandler, didn't go through shoot around either. So we have a 7:30 tip. First game on the slate, we should get word on if those guys are out. And if they're both out, JaVale McGee is in a prime spot. I mean, I think he can get like around 30 minutes again here. And he played very well against the 76ers last time out. The Hawks do play pretty big with Collins, Dedmon, and Alex Len. So I think he definitely is locked in for 25 to 30 minutes if he does start and those guys are out, like I said. So really good upside. Played very well in the first time against them. 28 DraftKings points and a nice price tag at 4,800. We saw his big upside when he got those minutes in the beginning of the year. He was getting like 30 to 40 DraftKings points a game, and he's been very good fantasy points per minute, like 21 minutes on average, and he's averaging 25.8 DraftKings points. So a really good play whenever he gets that extra run. This is a really good matchup going against the Hawks. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy. So you got Trey Young, LeBron James, John Collins, JaVale McGee, Isaac, and Marcus Morris. I hope you guys enjoyed the plays. Slap a like if you did. Like I always say, follow me on Twitter for any updates. Obviously, yesterday, how we had that bad pivot from Paul George to Karl Anthony Towns. Made sense at the time. Didn't expect Paul George to go absolutely nuclear, but still, I did recommend him in the video, I guess, saving grace a little bit there. So hopefully you didn't see that tweet. But Larry Nance was a good tweet, so I guess we'll take the good with the bad a little bit there. But like I said, yeah, follow me there. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to continue to get these DraftKings picks the remainder of the season. We're closing in on 8,000 subscribers, so thanks a lot for that. Let's see if we can hit it by the end of this month or something like that. But good luck here tonight, and we'll see you back here again next time.